What is up, everyone? Welcome to PAX West 2021. It is different.
How's it going, everybody? It is wildly different in here this year. As you can see, there's like nobody here.
So, there's nobody and not a lot of stuff.
Right.
Inside the expo hall.
To be fair, this is the media hour. It's media exclusive, so there'll be a little more foot traffic later today, but this is weird how dead this is.
Yeah, it's really telling how few. So, for those of you that have never been to PAX, this is the area where most of the biggest booths usually are. Your Nintendo's, your well, I guess not Sony's, but like Behemoth has a huge booth. Capcom, Square Enix, Bandai Namco is here this year, which is surprising. But it looks like their booth is just dedicated to Tales of Rise. But we're gonna go get a closer look right now. The nice thing,
That's where the tap station is.
The thing I really like about this year's PAX, though, is that there is a much more visibility for indies. There's a lot of indie stuff with a lot more booth space. So that's kind of cool. I have a feeling we're going to find some hidden gems here on the show floor during PAX West, but we'll have a lot more to show you. For now, we're just going to take a walk around, take a look at what's here on the show floor, and show you guys what it's like to go to a gaming convention in the middle of a pandemic.
I can't even begin to tell you how different this is from previous years. Like, the fact that the lights are on, it's usually dark, there are all these statues and big, set pieces and like really ornate booths. This is, God, if you've never been here, you wouldn't know the difference, but this is so, I can see Square Enix here, and I can see Capcom and Sega.
I've
so
never
weird.
seen the expo hall bathed in light before. This is normally dark and quiet and a little more cozy.
I mean, I expected it, I was prepared for it, but I'm still a little thrown off by this.
Yeah, it's a very different feeling. It's like a prototype of years past. Yeah.
It's a little sad, like I said. I mean, it's nice not having the congestion, but at the same time, you kind of come for that people energy, I guess, for PAX, and there's so few people here. Although, we can get a quick look at that's where the regular attendees are waiting to come in about an hour. So, like I said, there will be more foot traffic later, but not that much, I don't think.
No, I don't think there's a lot going on. Like I said, it's interesting to see the show floor like this. A lot of this space that we're walking around in would normally be occupied by gigantic E3 style booths.
Yeah.
So I'm really, it throws you off. It makes you, like, this doesn't feel like a PAX.
It doesn't. It feels like a local trade show or something, like a local mini trade show or something. This does not feel like PAX. Yeah, I mean, even that room that's where the attendees are. There aren't that many people waiting. Huh.
Well, we've only seen about a quarter of the show floor so far. There's a lot more on the other side of the floor. We don't know. Traditionally, the 8th floor of the convention center also has a bunch of stuff going on. We're going to head up there and take a look as well. But yeah, we've already made almost an entire lap of this side of the show floor, which normally in a traditional PAX would take you over an hour.
Yeah.
Not just because there's a lot more booths and a lot more things going on, but just a lot more people. Even just for media, there's usually thousands of people already on the floor at this time.
Like, if you've never been to a convention or a show like that, usually just getting from one place to another is an effort in itself, because you're just shuffling along. There are all these, you're in a sea of people, and that's certainly not the case. But yeah, I will be curious to see after media hour what things look like. Like during the middle of the day, I guess we'll see. But this part is just really fun. This reminds me more of MagFest's exhibit hall, where it's a smaller show. There's not as much to see in the exhibit hall itself, and this just reminds me more of that. Wild, man. So I guess we're going to cross the Sky Bridge here in a second, and make our way on over to the. Oh, here's Fangamer. Cool.
Yeah. So some of the mainstays are still here. Bandai Namco is on this side. We've got Fangamer on this side. Fangamer's at every PAX that I've been to.
Ooh, those are the Mega Man hoodies are cool. And that Certified one.
We have limited run games over here. They're pretty. Their presence is definitely reduced from what it is in typical years, but it's cool to see them here still. Dope ass free MVC2 side. We have here too. too. I actually really like their merch as well. They used to have a partnership with NIS America to do like stuff like that. But I remember them from years past.
Years past.
Years past, indeed.
So this year's Skybridge looks too different from other years. It's a little less crowded, of course, but generally the booths are set up the way they normally would be in the Skybridge in previous years.
Yeah, the one major thing that I'm noticing that's different is normally Think Geek has a massive booth right here in the middle of the Skybridge, and they're not here this year.
Right.
Has taken their spot. And honestly, this is probably the most normal feeling part of the show so far. This is kind of perfectly set up. It's hard to notice a difference between this and like a normal year when you're in the spot, but this is really just for merch. Like a lot of people, you know, I don't typically shop for merch while I'm here.
Stuff too here. Okay, well we just crossed the Skybridge into the other part of the exhibit hall where this is even wilder than the other part because this is normally where you see PlayStation, Nintendo, and is Xbox. No, Xbox is usually in the other part.
Yes.
Yeah. But this is usually just full of giant set piece sets or booths again.
Yeah, I've never seen it this sparse. Like there's just a lot of open space to walk.
Like,
that's not normal. Yeah, I definitely have vivid memories.
Like PlayStation, where are you? You just have a giant booth here.
Yeah.
And Nintendo would be like right here. This is...
Yeah, this area would be bathed in red and blue light from the Nintendo and PlayStation booths respectively. Yep. And honestly, it was so intense that you could feel the heat of them on your skin as you walked through the hall. So just to see it with like these wide open walkways is wild. Like spreading my arms out at PAX is not a thing I should be able to do.
Yeah.
But I'm really not within touching range of anything. I just love the fact that there's a lot of smaller games, a lot of things that typically would kind of get lost in the shuffle, now have much larger areas to breathe.
Right.
And I have a feeling we're going to come away with a lot of unique coverage on interesting games here from people we probably wouldn't have found otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, like you said, Steve, this is nice in a way because it helps spotlight indies in a way they might otherwise not be as much, even at PAX. So,
right.
Because usually all the indie stuff is in the PAX Mega or the Indie Mega booth. And I guess this year everything is the Indie Mega booth because it's all indies.
Here's one of the ones that you and I talked about.
Check out Bark.
Biointerstellar Arc Bark, which is just like a space shooter game with dogs. I mean, we're definitely going to be taking a look at that today as soon as their booth is finished setting up. Yeah, it's definitely just a completely different feeling to the show. I think a lot of the stuff that kind of takes a backseat to your mega AAA publishers are out in front because those AAA folks aren't here this year.
PAX Arena is usually over here. That usually gets its own room, I think.
Honestly, I'm pretty excited to actually get in because one of the things that is hard to do at shows like these because you devote so much attention to the bigger attendees or the bigger exhibitors is that you know the idea of walking around and just exploring and finding new interesting stuff it almost takes a back seat at most of these shows. So I think this year we're going to have a chance to actually dig deep and find those hidden gems.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if there even is an 8th floor area now because there used to be, as Steve was saying earlier, there would be an 8th floor separate section for other indies, like Yacht Club Games would be up there typically, the Untitled Goose Game devs would be up there in previous years. I don't even know if there is that this year.
Yeah,
this might be everything.
In fact, in 2019, I ran an interview with the CEO of Panic on the 8th floor, and we took a look at the play date, which comes out later this year, or early 2022, I believe. But you know, that 8th floor is typically where a lot of these smaller booths go. So I wonder what it is we're going to find when we go up there.
Also, I just want to say we just finished. This is basically completing our whole 4th floor exhibit hall run of PAX West right now, and we've been doing this for 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and we've seen everything pretty much on the main exhibit hall show floor. So we're gonna head upstairs to the 8th floor and see if there's still that separate area up there as well. But even though I was prepared for a stark difference, this is even more than I was expecting.
Yeah, this is a bit wild. But it does look like they're setting up like a gigantic LAN party here, or even some console setup. I see Halo, I see Switch hooked up over there.
This is the console play room, probably.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Is that the console free play room here instead of its own other ballroom.
Yeah.
That's weird, man.
Leads me to believe that maybe that 8th floor doesn't have anything on it this year.
Guess we'll find out. Man.
Let's head on up to see what else waits for us above.
See what we see. Yeah, the Skybridge is mostly the same, just a little less crowded, I guess.
Yeah, just fewer people, but actually the same amount of booths and stuff like that.
Man,
This is kind of sad.
it is. It's really sad. I'm not gonna lie.
It's definitely a bit disheartening, but I will say I'm a lot less concerned now that I'm in about my safety than I was before I came.
Sure.
Like I haven't ever felt like I need to be too close to somebody or too close for comfort or that somebody's within my personal space. We need to go this way, right?
Yeah, we can. There are many ways we can get up to the 8th floor. It just depends on which one we want to take.
Let's just go
back
through the
here.
floor, yeah. This media population is so much smaller, I think, even than what I expected. It gives you perspective on just how many people come to the show as media, as content creators, and have early access to it, because honestly, the difference between when the show floor opens to the general public and right now is not huge.
Right.
I anticipate this will be similarly sparse as we go through.
That'll be the true test, is when media hour's over. And I mean, I guess the true test would be tomorrow on Saturday, right? When, there are still people at work, it's Friday morning. The largest foot traffic at shows like this tends to be on Saturday and Sunday. So that'll be the true test of like how different things really are. But just based on the layout of the show floor, they're very different. And there's just not that much to see, frankly. At least so far. There's a decent, even for media hour, there's a pretty decent wait to play Tales of Arise. Like, that's actually a pretty decent line, more than I thought.
Yeah, the thing that I find interesting, though, is traditionally these larger booths have, like, a media desk where you can go check in and talk to someone and set up an appointment, and that just isn't a thing here. Nobody has that.
Right.
Nobody has any type of media access. It almost kind of makes media hour a little bit pointless.
It
Because
does.
there's not a whole lot of networking or stuff to do.
Yeah.
There are definitely games we can check out and things we can see, but honestly, this PAX is almost like 60% merch, 40% games.
It kind of does seem like that, doesn't it? I would almost even venture to say 70-30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to head up to the 8th floor and see if there's still an 8th floor to see, I guess. And
I hope
go
so.
from there.
Me too. Traditionally held some of the most interesting stuff.
Me too, yeah, same.
Well, here we are.
Yeah. We're at the 6th floor, guys. This is where usually there's a bunch more activities going on. There are various ballrooms, various things to do. And then we're going to go to check out Ballroom 6C, which is usually the other indie area where, the higher profile indie devs like Yacht Club, Inti Creates, they usually hang out there and show off all their new wares. You and I demoed Windjammers 2 a couple of years ago in this room, and so far,
you can tell by how quiet it is.
It is so
that
quiet.
there's not going to be a lot on the other side of this door. Typically, this place is humming.
It's usually like lined with people along the walls, like sitting, playing their Switches, on their phones, hanging out. Now, again, this is still technically during media hour, so it's not like full foot traffic time yet. But here's the thing: there's nothing.
There's nobody
set up.
here.
There's nobody.
Literally
here.
nobody. In fact, some of your AAA publishers usually run meetings out of this hallway.
Right.
Nintendo usually occupies a suite in this hallway where they hold their media events or their media briefings, and there's just nothing going on here.
I have never seen this ballroom open with lights on. Oh, okay, here's a little bit of stuff going on here. But it's the tabletop HQ here.
Yeah, this is a wildly different configuration for the entire show. And
this is so depressing.
This place is normally lights down low, booths from one end to the other. And this is usually where you find your yacht clubs, your panics, your smaller indie folks that, honestly make some of our favorite games.
Right.
Usually your other merch shops that we found down below are here as well. Your Fangamer is usually up here. Sanshi is usually up here. Because those spots that we were in previously are reserved for big AAA publishers. So it is really interesting. It's just a normal ballroom this year. Just chairs as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense there are a lot of tabletop free play. tabletop stuff is right around here, as we can see. But yeah, normally like this is where we play Untitled Goose Game a couple years ago.
Yeah. Panic had like an actual little house in this area.
Always catch up with the Yacht Club and Inti Creates. And
yeah, this is definitely very different. So I think that, I mean, we've seen everything.
We've seen
it's been
the
about
show.
15 minutes, and we've seen the whole show.
Yeah, we've seen basically what there is. Well, again, I'm sure there'll be more things to see throughout the show in terms of just going to different booths, actually playing some games.
Yeah.
We did see people still setting up. Like there was that one game that I really wanted to try, Bark, and that booth was still setting up.
Yeah, to be
But,
clear,
like,
we are not done with PAX.
No,
We're
no.
just getting started. There's still a ton of stuff to see. It's just not going to be the whirlwind, 3-day event that it normally is for
4-day
us.
event.
4-day
Actually,
event,
yeah.
that it normally is for us. So I have a feeling we'll be able to get a lot of highlights out today. But stay tuned for more on GVG. We're going to have a lot more surrounding PAX. We're also going to just have a bunch of fun streams that we're doing.
Yeah.
Today's news is going up at its regular time tonight, so stay tuned for that tonight at 4 p.m. Pacific.
And those of you excited about GVG After Dark streams in particular, we're doing those.
Yes.
So we'll be
yes.
playing some Smash,
So-
we'll be playing some Mario Party. We're just going to be having a good time. It'll get spicy, as usual. So
Yeah.
look forward to that. But otherwise, let us know on Twitter, by the way. If you're here for PAX, let us know on Twitter. We're going to have a fan meetup either tomorrow or Sunday. So let us know if you're here. Tag us, GVG Official, on Twitter. Let us know you want to meet up. We would love to meet you in person. Take a picture, hang out, play some Smash, whatever. So let us know on Twitter if you're here at the show. We'd love to meet up with you.
Yep. Until next time, folks.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.